Rambling Hour with Lisa, season 7, episode 4, I believe. And happy to see you guys. Sorry I'm late. I have a good excuse, although I think it's too low for you guys to see. I made a little table out of the garbage can. I flipped it over. I took out the bag. Well, it's actually for burning stuff. I flipped it over and made it into a little table, but it's too low for you. How pretty. And then, okay, so that's not why I was late. That didn't take me any work, but I ran outside really quickly and got like just some flowers from the garden and didn't know what to grab, so I just grabbed a few things to put into a vase to make it look really pretty, and now it's too low for you guys to see. So I will see if I can change that. Just give me a minute. And my drink. Oh! Hi Melody, watching from the lake. Oh yeah, and I had this here too because I was gonna get, I thought this was what I was gonna use to put the flowers in, but then I ended up cutting them short, so I had to grab a different vase. I'm coming to you from the kitchen. This is the side of the fridge, and this is the wall that I painted, although I don't think you can see the color very well on my live, so let me see how I can do this. That's a window right there to the side of the house. That's actually going to become a doorway to go out into the... So you can see where I stopped painting. That's going to become a doorway out into the... That's a good angle. No, that's weird. That's really low. Okay. Now I've unplugged my light. So let me figure this out. Anyways, that's why I'm late. I knew I had an idea in my mind, but I didn't know what table would be tall enough. So then I saw the rubbish bin and thought that would be high enough. Oh, maybe I'll use maybe I'll do this. That's where the paint ends, so that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a burn barrel, but I bought Thomas 3 of them years ago when he was a young teenage boy, and I thought that they would help him keep his room clean. One for garbage, one for recycle, and one for dirty laundry. So there, is that better? I have no idea. Anyways, I'm still here. I'm still live. We're still... Oops, what did I do? Yeah, I don't know what that is. So, how is everyone tonight? And what are you doing? How has your week been? My week has been... See, that's almost too high now. Oh, can't win. My week has been pretty exhausting, just mostly painting the kitchen and getting things ready renovation-wise, but today has been one of those down days, and I don't know if it's because it's in between renovations and I haven't had to do anything today specifically for the kitchen or the renovations, and so I've been able to crash a little bit, but my mind has crashed. So, and I wanted to be out in the garden, and I was out in the garden, but it was basically just watering plants because I haven't been outside for a few days, and it's been warm here too, but not enough rain. My pots and plants and everybody's weeping and looking sad, so all I did today outside was go around watering pots. And then part of yesterday, I did most of the front yesterday, I did all of the back and side today. So yeah, it wasn't that enjoyable in the garden because all I was doing was watering plants and listening to my headphones, listening to podcasts. So Melody is out at the lake enjoying the sunshine, and I believe it's a long weekend in Canada. So I guess technically, like I think I told you guys this last week, but technically there's 2 long weekends in England in May. One at the beginning of the month, which is May Day, and then the one at the end of the month is for the Queen's birthday. But because of the Jubilee this year, yeah, I did tell you guys this last year, last week, because I couldn't remember if it was called the Jubilee, which it is. It's the, not Coral Jubilee, what is it called again? Something, the Jubilee, because it's the Jubilee, instead of this weekend coming up being a holiday, it's the 2nd and 3rd of June that's going to be a holiday, so bank holiday. So we get an extra long weekend that weekend. So yeah, so renovations are going well. There is a bunch going on this week, but it won't be starting till Thursday. And so yeah, I need to do some grocery shopping. I need to finish doing some stuff outside in the garden, and then obviously, I mean, I did the painting, but me and Steve aren't really the ones who have to do the renovations. We just have to make sure everything's in order for the electricians, the guy putting in the cabinets, our joiner who's doing the doors, and who else? The tiler for the bathroom and for the splashback in the kitchen. Me and Steve need to choose tiles that we want for the splashback, or if you're in Canada, backsplash. Like in between the top cabinets and the bottom cabinets, what we want all there, and then behind the cooker. And we also need to choose what tiles we want for the walls in the bathroom downstairs, which will be our ensuite for our bedroom when the garage becomes our bedroom, because we already know what we want for the floor tiles in there, but we haven't chose what we want for the wall tiles, and the tiler will need to know in order to be able to tile it. So yes, so this week I've just basically been painting. And then the thing about the home renovations is, like, if you know that they're going to be ongoing and there's going to be workers in your house every day, fine, you'll just let things get messy. But some of the things, you don't know when things are going to be ready. Like, we thought that the countertops would be done in a week. Well, they will be done in a week from when the guy, okay, this is what happens. The guy comes out for the countertops. Comes out and uses a laser and does like a laser thing to, after the carcasses of the cabinets are in the cooker and the sink, he uses a laser to measure to make sure it's like exact measurements for the countertops, and then you can have the countertops from that day. A week later they'll be ready. However, for some reason the color that the kitchen guy told the countertop guy is way lighter than what we wanted. So now they're trying to find the color that we want, even though every time me and Steve look it up, because we're getting quartz quartz countertops. So the difference between quartz and granite is a natural stone and quartz is man-made. But so we're getting a quartz countertop, and we want dark gray. But every time we look it up online, it's easy for us to find, but for some reason it's hard for these guys to find samples of some of the colors that me and Steve would be willing to choose. So we still don't have a countertop color chosen through the company. So we can't get it a week from Monday last week. So we don't even know when we'll have countertops because they haven't found the color. And then the guy's supposed to be stopping by with a sample to show us one, but I still think the one that, like, they sent us in a picture, but then he's going to bring the sample, I still think it's too light for what we want. So I have no idea. But anyways, my point was that with everything, it doesn't happen day after day after day. It happens so broken up that I like to keep a clean house. So if you knew the workers are going to be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day, then there's no point in cleaning up. But if you don't know when the next thing is going to happen, you want to maintain a pretty clean house, especially if there's dust from, like, you know, when I sanded the walls before I painted them and like all those things. You want to clean that up because you don't want it dragged around the whole house. So part of it is just trying to maintain the house and your routines and normal life in between all the home renovations. And I would say that that's harder than the home renovations themselves. I'm not complaining, I'm excited, but I've been tired and trying to get things done, and normal life as well. But it'll all be done. And what I told the kids, just like Christmas or anything else, like or moving somewhere or any of those things, once it's done, it feels like it was always that way. So you won't, like, say you move away for a couple of years and you think like you will miss home and everything, but then you move home, like 2 years later you move back to where you were originally from. It feels like you never left, even though you have all those memories of the new place. Melody, you could probably attest to that because you lived in Dawson Creek for however many years, 8 years, I mean maybe not even that long, I don't know, 6 years, you can tell me, but you lived up in Dawson Creek for however long. That's like a 6-hour drive from Edmonton. And now that you're back in Edmonton, it probably feels like in some ways that you never left, although you have all those memories from living there. So it's the same thing with the kitchen. Even though this kitchen has only lived in our head and it's not fully done yet, once we're in it and everything, it'll feel great. It'll feel wonderful. Just like I still love our Victorian bathroom upstairs, even though it's been 4 years since we put it in. It's just life, and it'll feel good, but it'll feel like it always was. And Melody agrees, yes, it totally does. So something that on one of my podcasts that they do is at the end of a season, they do like a season roundup, and they like go over, well, it's called Buy the Book, not B-U-Y, like go out and buy the book, although you can if you think that you'd enjoy it, but it's Buy the Book, B-Y. So they get a self-help book and they live by it, like what it says in the self-help book. They read it and live by whatever it says in it for 2 weeks, and then they talk about what they learned, if they recommend the book, if whatever. So, and then at the end of, I don't know, they do about 8 books, and then at the end of their season, and they do a season roundup and talk about all of them and if anything stuck or whatever. And it made me think that because this is a rambling hour and I randomly talk about, yeah, it could be the rambling hour or the randomly hour, because it's so random what we talk about, and I never know what we're going to talk about. I should have done that, and I could do that, going back and like going over all the episodes of season 1 and seeing if there was anything that I said I would do and didn't, or what we discussed or whatever, and do like a season roundup of each season that's already passed, and then continue after the season's finished. Like I do 12 episodes, and then I call that a season. So that's 12 weeks, and then I usually take a week off. So that's about 3 months, right? So 4 seasons a year, I guess. I know I keep playing with my hair. That's because I showered and it's wet. So if I wanted it nice and curly, I need to scrunch it. But I'm not going anywhere. It's just to look good for the live, and then I'm going to do my workout, and then I'm going to chill in bed because Steve's going to go out with his mates. I can hear him out and about in the entranceway. So he's probably leaving soon to go out, but yeah, I haven't done my workout. Actually, I meant to check that to see if my watering plants in the garden counted as any exercise. It probably didn't count as getting my heart rate up, but it would have counted as like squatting to water lots of things. So my body will know it was exercise. Yeah, it says I did 9 out of 30 minutes, but yeah. So even if it doesn't count as like active, getting my, it's still stretching my muscles and still strengthening my muscles from being in a squat for most of it. Yeah, I chose the picture I did today on my Bitmoji, my little cartoon that shows the rambling hours coming up, because it like I said, it's just been a down day. So I've just been I don't know if it's everything that's going on, and because I'm really excited, but maybe it just has to do with the fact that it seems like every day there's something or someone coming over and doing something. Like on Wednesday we got we got our windows all changed in the house, not this one behind me, because again, this is going to be a doorway, but we got our windows changed in the house except our bedroom, because the one that they brought out had it was cracked, the frame was cracked. So then they said it'll be Tuesday. No, what did they say? I don't remember what day of the week that was, but it was like, I think they said Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So then on Tuesday, like we got a call just before Tuesday that the new one that they made had a defect, so that it'll be the next Wednesday, which was this Wednesday that just passed. So they came out on Wednesday and they finally changed our window, but the scaffolding is still up in front of our house. So, hi Mom. Yeah, so like I said, the electricians, the joiner, the Tyler, the getting the scaffolding down. Like it seems like every day there's something. On Friday, because one of my seats in my car, I told you guys this, the day of Amy, Steve's daughter, my stepdaughter, Amy's wedding. Aurora went to pull up a seat in the boot of my car, because I have 2 hidden seats, and she went to lift one of them up because she thought we needed them, and it was broken. It was the little runners were out of the track and we couldn't get it back in. We spent like a half an hour trying to get it in, and we're like, oh my god, we're gonna be late for the wedding. So anyway, so that was like, when did they get married? March, April, May. Did they get married May 3rd? May 2nd? April 2nd? Yeah, April 2nd, because then they went on their honeymoon for a month. And they're back. So yeah, I guess April 2nd, it's been a while. So anyways, I didn't get it fixed until then. So the mechanic came out on Friday to fix that. But Friday I also ran out to get the paint to paint the kitchen, so it turned out darker than I thought it would be. We were gonna do a light blue, but what happened was I forgot the mechanic was coming on Friday and I didn't know what time he was coming. So when I got to Northwich, I phoned Steve and asked him if he knew what time he was coming. He said no. I said, okay, well, I'm just grabbing the paint and then I'll be going back, and it takes about 20 minutes to drive. So I got fuel. I told Allison if she watched Nova the puppy, I would get her lunch. So I went to KFC and got rice boxes, like rice salad boxes. And then I went to B&Q, that's like for American and Canadians, like Home Depot. And I was just found the kitchen and bathroom paint. I was just looking at the colors and I saw one that said, there's some hot dogs in the Ninja and some chips that need to be warmed up, or wedges in the Ninja. Otherwise you gotta fend for yourself, or frozen meals. So yeah, I just got there and there was one that was called Morning Light. No, First Dawn. And I thought, well, that's a nice color. That's similar to what we want. But I was just gonna keep looking, and then my phone rang and Steve said, he's there, and hurry up or if you don't get there soon, he'll leave. So I'm like, oh my God. And I was talking to Steve, I'm like, what's a good price for a tin of paint? And he's like, I don't know. And then like, it's just a rush. And I was like, okay. And so I grabbed the 2 cans. I could have left and I could have went back later and looked better, but I was like, no, I really want to get the painting done, especially where the cooker is, because I want to get the paint on the wall while it's one big piece before they put up the range hood, like the extractor fan and the splashback and everything, and then it's just these little patches that I have to paint. So I grabbed that color. I thought, it's probably the right color or whatever. And then when I got home and started putting it on, I was like, yikes, that's a bit darker than I thought. So you can see the contrast, white and this, and I'll show you the bucket. This is empty now. But yeah, and it's also Dulux, but it was a good price. It was 25 pounds for a tin, and I thought, well, a plastic, you know what I mean. And I thought when I was in Canada, I used to pay, like, if I wanted to repaint, I paid about $20 for one of these. So I thought, well, that seems like a good price, but it's called First Dawn. And you obviously won't get the right color on here, but you can get the idea, and you'll see the pictures when the renovations are done and we post them. But again, I thought I'd do the sneak peek type thing and be in the kitchen for you guys to see. The reason that I stopped here is because we have these old cabinets against this wall here, so that when the other cabinets are ready, I can just take the stuff out of these ones and put it into those ones. Also because these ones were in the entranceway, but we needed to move them for them to get the cooker and the fridge through. We're still not using the cooker or the fridge. The cooker needs to be wired in when the electricians come, and the fridge needs to be plumbed in with the plumber, which is Steve's best mate. But I could plug in the fridge and we could start using it, but I just want to do it all at the same time. Thanks, Melody. Melody says I like the color. The thing is that not only do I go by colors, by the color if I like the color, but I go by the name of it. And the first thing I thought of when I saw that it said First Dawn was, oh, I love being in the kitchen in the morning. That is my favorite thing, to be in the kitchen with the sun shining through and sitting at the table. And so when it was First Dawn, it just made me think of being in the kitchen in the morning. So that I thought, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like a good color. It wasn't until I've only used 1 tin of paint, but I needed a little bit of the second tin. So when I opened the second one, it wasn't until then that I noticed that it says bathroom, but it doesn't really matter. It's humidity. It still works really good. And that was after I had painted all the walls. I'm like, oh, shoot, this is for the bathroom. But like I said, I had to grab it and hurry, and yeah, so. What else is, I'm very excited about. So anyways, I don't know what tiles we're having between the cupboards, but we need to decide that as well for our kitchen to be done. So let's see. So plumbing, check, like as soon as he gets here. We have our sink, which is called a butler sink. So a Belfast sink is like the big ceramic ones that are deep. A butler sink is like a double sink, so it's 2. So, which is what we do in North America. We have 1 sink for washing and 1 sink for rinsing. Here, a lot of the houses only have 1 sink, and I don't, even though they put like a basin in the sink, to do the dishes. We call it a washing up bowl in the sink. So you use less water than filling up the sink. I don't know what lots of people do, but what we do in this house is we have 2 basins. So one we put with wash water and one we put with rinse water. And then, you know, we wash the dishes in one basin, rinse them in the second, and put them in the drying rack. But we also have a dishwasher, which I had growing up, but I didn't really... Me and Steve both agreed that, I mean, you could do dishes with a small amount of water, and a dishwasher just didn't seem necessary. But now that the kids are getting older and stuff, we just thought we should maybe get one. So we have a dishwasher. I mean, it's a modern kitchen. If we're redoing the kitchen, especially if we wanted to sell the house ever, you want to have like the things that people have. So the kids will appreciate that. But as people with dishwashers know, not all the dishes can go, especially when you have a big family. Like, even if you have a small family, not everything is dishwasher safe. But also, if you have a big family and you want all the dishes done, they're not going to all be done in one load in the dishwasher. So, so the sink, okay, so the plumber, electricians, like everybody's lined up. The only thing that is the countertops, which I've already explained, and then me and Steve have to choose the tiles that we want. And then I think for the most part, that is the kitchen done. So that is very exciting. I took the old, what does Steve call it? Memo board? Bulletin. I call it a bulletin board. Like, it's like a cork board, but I think Steve called it a memo board. And I painted it with the same color as this. So that's what I did in my old house too. I painted it green, and then when I painted the wall green, and I put the bulletin board up on the wall, and it blended into the wall, but then we could pin things to it, like the kids' art and stuff like that, without wrecking the wall. So I painted it blue, and I'm thinking of putting it on this wall over here that there's nothing on. But if Steve thinks it's too tacky, then we might have to get a new one that's smaller with just a half whiteboard, half bulletin. Like, I just want it to be like more of like the... Because even, like, you know, obviously when we build the addition in here in the utility room and stuff, I could put it in there, but then that'll be nicely done as well. So you might not want it in there and think it's tacky, but there has to be like a little bit of a, what's the word? Not an office, but the kitchen is like the main room of the house where so much happens, and you kind of need that information station, you know, with the calendar on it or with the notes on it. You know, I put the kids' timetables on there. So that, I mean, they carry one in their pocket, but if they don't, I make copies of it too, so so there's like 5 copies there, so that if they, because they charge like, not much, but like a few pence to make a copy if you lose your timetable. But yeah, that way they can take a quick glance at it and see what they have that day or the next day or whatever. So, you know, just those things. I like having a little information station in the kitchen. So there's something else I was going to talk about, but, you know, my brain... Also, like, I know when I was putting on my makeup, not that I wear a lot, but I was like, oh shoot, I always forget until I'm like right there putting on my makeup that I have a bit of a tan now from being outside. So I gotta, my concealer doesn't match. You can tell that I have a tan because of that's not as obvious. Let's see, but like some pale skin. I can't even, the lighting in here is not good, and I'm not gonna pull out my belly. But yeah, my eating has not been on track still, but I'm feeling ready to start loving myself again. And I think it honestly has to do with the home renovations and the, like, just not being in a routine. And thanks, they're not as defined as they were before. Like, I definitely need to get back on it, which is on the agenda. I've been kind of snacking on some shit in the last couple days. I don't actually eat shit, that would be disgusting. But yeah, some shit food, because I know I'm gonna start being serious again any day now. I'm building myself up to it, and once I go serious, then I'm gonna be serious. So, but yeah, I need to get back to it. I'm still working out every day, but it's like I said last week, I miss the yoga and the shred and the strength, the muscle strength and stuff, not just the cardio and everything. So need to get back to it. What else? Kids are going to be on holidays before you know it. That's one thing I was going to talk about. Why do kids these days, I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but why are none of the kids like motivated to do stuff for themselves? Why don't they have any desire to like go to college or university, to get a job, to get their driver's license, to do any like the I did so much volunteering, and I was always active. I was on sports teams, and I did like so much stuff, and of course we don't always want to, like, you know, like exams. Aurora has her exams right now. It's year 11, so these are her serious exams, and like what we would call finals in, you know, to graduate in Canada, that's what we would call it. But and of course not all of us took it seriously either. I could have done a lot better on mine, but it just seems like none of the kids are really and I don't know if it's a generational thing, like why do they not, none of them have motivation to do things for themselves, or to, you know what I mean? Like I remember, like, and again, it's not me as an example, but so many people in Canada, like they couldn't wait till they turned 14 to get their learners, because that's what it was when I was a kid, and 16 to get their driver's license, and they were like motivated and did the work themselves and were ready to do those things without necessarily, like, you know, they'd need their parents' signature or whatever, but they didn't need their parents saying, are you going to do that? Are you going to do that? Are you going to get your driver's license? You know, but I don't know. I don't want to knock the kids and specifically point out which ones aren't doing anything, but I just don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but I just, it makes me sad that they're not more motivated to do stuff for themselves, especially being or becoming adults, and the fact that once you're 18, I'm technically not responsible for you anymore. I can try and encourage you to do things, but really, I also could just not care, and it's up to you to do something with your life. You know what I mean? I've put in my time and tried to help you for 18 years, but it's just, it's a bit disheartening to see, and I don't know if it's something that I did or didn't do or if it's just their personalities, or if it's a rare thing. Like, you know, we have Amy, who's our oldest daughter, who is a solicitor, and I didn't raise her, but the whole time I've known her and everything I've heard about her, she's always been a go-getter and out there and getting things done. And I have a sister, Tina, who was like that, who was good with money and did all her schooling, and, you know, and maybe she was good in school, maybe it came easy to her, I don't know, but yeah, and like I said, even though I could have done better on my exams, and I could have, you know, I didn't get my driver's license when I was 16, only because I didn't mind taking the city buses, but I still went out and did things. I still took the bus and made sure I had a bus pass, like, you know, and when my parents paid for it, and then once they were done paying for things, I got my own and everything, and then when I really wanted my driver's license, I went and got it. Had I not had access to city transit, then I definitely would have got my driver's license, like if I lived in a small town. And actually that is when I got my driver's license, is because I wanted to drive out of town, like 4.5 hours, 5 hours, like from Edmonton to Grand Prairie. So I needed my driver's license. So I went on a Tuesday and I failed, and then I went on a Thursday and I passed. The reason that I failed on the Tuesday was not because I didn't know how to drive, but it was because because when in Canada, when you had your learners or whatever, I mean, I guess it's the same here with the provisional. You can sit beside an adult who has their license, and I had been driving for years at that point with somebody beside me, but I had been driving for years that I got into bad habits. So when I went for my my driver's test, I failed with bad habits. And then, so when I was like, I really want this, I know how to drive, I know how to drive. So when I went on the Thursday, I was like, just be an old lady, take it slow and easy, and think about your things, like, at that time it was hand over hand. Now here, and I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but you don't do hand over hand when you're turning. You do, like, you feed it through and then let it slide. And I have a hard time with that, especially because the roads are so narrow here. So the turns are like, yeah, I have a hard time doing that, but that's how you're supposed to do it now, because you're not technically supposed to take your hands off the wheel. So yeah, that was one thing I wanted to talk about, was kids these days. But my point with Amy and Tina, my little sister, is that maybe it's just more rare that there's those people who are motivated to do their thing. But even if you're not great with the education, like we all know, Steve's been working since he was 8, and he's got that attitude to work and to be successful, and to, you know, and even with a broken neck and broken back, whereas some people could, and I'm not knocking people who are on disabilities, you know, if he needed it, if he really couldn't move, then he'd need to be on disability, but he hasn't let those things stop him. He tries to persist through anything, right? And it, like I don't know if the kids will grow into that, or like I said, did we spoil them too much? Why is it not natural for them to want to go out and do these things for themselves without being, I don't know. So what else can we talk about? When the kids, like, they have term break again pretty soon, like when the bank holiday weekend is. I just looked at what the time was, but I can't remember. Did it say 29 minutes? Yeah, 20. So I've been talking for half of an hour, half of the rambling hour. So we're halfway there, but what else can we talk about? Very quiet. I can hear the microwave on, so somebody's warming something up, but besides that, it's just very quiet. Man City, Steve's football team, won the game today, which is part of whatever league, I don't know. So, and this color is very similar to the Man City blue, so it's a good thing that he loves Man City. I'm really excited for the kitchen to be done. Really am. And I think it's really cool that this is just how quickly I put this together, and that it's from my garden, and it's not even summertime yet. This is a rose and some pinks like dianthus, and some what are they called again? Mums and columbines, which are called eglelias. This is a type of grass that's in flower, and osteopermums. That's what these are called, osteopermums. And what else did I? Oh, and this, I don't know what this is. It's like a tree that we cut down, and we thought it was dead, so we cut it down, and then it grew back, and it has flowered. And I took some of the flowers off, and they're really pretty. But I gotta figure out what the actual tree is. It's in the area where we're gonna put the addition behind us, so even if I take a cutting from it or something, it'll have to be moved. But oh, and then there's some French lavender in there that I took off too, so yeah. And that's what these leafy things are right here, the French lavender. And it looks nice up in the window. Like I said, I'm excited for the kitchen. I think it'll look nice with when everything's done, and I can't wait for the kitchen table to be back in here. I didn't want an island. Our kitchen's big enough for an island, but I like the kitchen table with the chairs around it, and having family meals in the kitchen, and then having the dining room as special events and special meals out there. It's a nice change. So I didn't want an island. I wanted the kitchen table and chairs in here, and I can't wait for that to be back in here, for me to sit, like I said, in the mornings and do my journaling or whatever, and have fresh flowers on the table. And I've always wanted to like buy fresh flowers and grow, you know, ones that I can cut and bring into the house and everything else, but I never had somewhere that I wanted to display them. I knew that when the kitchen was done, I would want some in there, so I might even grow more flowers that I can cut and have fresh flowers in the kitchen now that the kitchen will be done. Mom says, oh, that reminds me, Oilers and Calgary play tonight, so that's hockey. And I'm guessing because it's May, it is the playoffs, which is the end of the season for NHL, like National Hockey League in North America. So Oilers and Calgary are facing off. So I don't know how far into the playoffs they are. I mean, yeah, playoffs. But yeah, enjoy the game, Mom, if you're watching it. And go Oilers. Let's hope that they win. Melody says your flowers look beautiful. Thank you, Melody. I also have, like I told you guys about the guy Stuart, my gay crush. The only guy that I've had a crush on really since I moved here, and then found out he was gay, which is fine because I'm happily married. But yeah, he made this really nice centerpiece thing for his mom. I can't remember I think they might have hung it from the ceiling so it didn't interfere with the table, but it was like a big flower display, but like with dried flowers and everything for Christmas. It had eucalyptus in it and stuff. It's really nice. And it made me think, I texted him the other day, oh my God, this was so embarrassing. The day I got the paint, but no, it wasn't the day I got the paint. I went to B&Q and I was getting, like, they call it compost here, but like potting soil. And I was putting the big heavy things into my car. Like I had pulled up to the front of B&Q, again, it's like Home Depot. And I was putting them into my car, and then I saw Stuart, and well, I heard him talking to someone, and I knew his voice, and he said, oh yeah, on my day off, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up and I saw him, and then I through the windows where I was putting it in the car, and then he saw me and waved, and then said, hey, how are you? And I went, oh, hey, I'm good. And I tried to talk, but I had just put a Reese peanut butter cup into my mouth, and then it was like, blah, blah. It was so like, oh my God, how embarrassing, like, to anyone, not just him, but I was like, yeah, I'm good, yeah. So then I texted him after I got in the car and parked. I was like, oh my God, how, like, laugh out loud, trying to say hi with a mouthful of peanut butter cup. But and then I said, actually, I just thought about you the other day because I had watched, I was catching up on my Gardener's World programs, and again, I know, if you can watch BBC on like satellite TV, you might be able to watch Gardener's World in North America, but otherwise you can get some of the episodes on YouTube. But I was catching up on last year's season, and they had 3 winter specials, and on the 3rd winter special, on the 3rd one, they did a few winter arrangements. They made a wreath and a swag, and out of stuff from the garden, and it gave me ideas. And then that's when I thought of Stuart, and I thought, I wonder if there's anything that I grow already or that he would like me to grow. I don't know if he has the space, he can grow his own stuff, but I just thought, seeing I have a garden, I wonder if, because I told him, now you can make me an arrangement like next year, like it's really nice, right? So, yeah, so then it made me think, should I grow anything? Is there anything that he'd like me to grow? Like what should I grow if I want to try and make a wreath or a swag for myself for Christmas? Anyways, so then, yeah, I do have eucalyptus, but I guess you can, which I've only had for like a year or 2, so it's not huge, but I can, if I cut it off to use it for something, then it'll grow back, so that's exciting. And yeah, so that, somewhere in all that, I think I was talking about having more cut flowers and then putting flowers in my house more as the rooms are renovated and done. Yeah, my hair looks all right. It doesn't have much product in it, so it's getting a bit flat, but that's okay because I just got to do my workout and then chill and watch more Gardener's World. I only have a little because it comes out on Fridays. I'm just moving over. My legs are getting sore too from sitting in this chair. It comes out on Fridays, and I've only watched a bit of it when I did my workout yesterday, so I still have a bit of Friday's episode left. And then there's this, so Monty Don is the main presenter on Gardener's World right now, and he has been for quite a few years, but it's been going for 50 years, so he's not always been the main presenter, but he also did this series a few years ago, and I've never watched it, and it's, you know, the novel Around the World in 80 Days? Well, this is called Around the World in 80 Gardens. So he goes around the world and he sees different gardens. So the first episode he was in Mexico and Cuba, and then the second episode he was in Australia and New Zealand. And I think, did I finish? I think I might have just finished the second episode and I haven't started on the 3rd episode. Yeah, I think that's where I am now. So I can't remember how many episodes are in that series, but that's another one if you want to look at gardens from around the world, is Around the World in 80 Gardens with Monty Don. Mom says Sunny came and got my stuff, my Tupperware. That's very exciting. Yes, Sunny will be coming here. He arrives on June 3rd, so we're hoping to have the kitchen and everything done by the time Sunny gets here. I have to do the, so again, it all just keeps going in circles. Like, I need to organize and make sure the caravan, which is our guest house, is nice and ready for when Sunny comes, because that's where he's staying. But at the same time, the doors are lying, because the oak doors have to lie flat, so they're lying in the living room of the guest house, and there's 4 of them left. So there's our door for our bedroom, the kitchen, which it can be put on now that the cooker and the fridge are brought in, and the office, except that we're not putting the office one on because we're changing where the door is to the office. Instead of going into the dining room, into the living room, and then into the office. We're gonna do it where you're just in the entranceway and you go straight into the office. Melody says I'm gonna go, phone's gonna die. Love you. Love you too, Melody. Thanks for watching. You can catch up with the rest later. Yeah, so we're not putting that one on yet, and then we had an extra one that was for it was for a door that was upstairs that it went into this like closet, and then that's how you got up to the loft, but we blocked that off and then opened it up into Allison's room, so it made it into a closet for her. But we don't need a door there now, so we have an extra door, but we might use it somewhere else. Anyways, my point is that even when Fred comes and puts the kitchen door on and our bedroom door on, there's still 2 doors that have to lie flat, so I have to find somewhere to put those so that Sonny can have the living room of the guest house when he gets here. So that's something I'll be working on. And then the room that Sonny's in, oh no, he'll take the big room. I don't need to clean out the small room. He'll have the main room. That's right. So that I just need to clean up and I have to fix. So because there's been stuff, the frames for the doors and everything in the living room of the guest house, when the kids have friends over and want to hang out in there, they've been hanging out in the main bedroom, which is all right, but I guess they broke part of the bed now. Because it's not really the room that you want people like having friends over in and stuff, but I have to look at that and see if I can fix that. So, yes, hello if you're watching now or you're watching this later. We have 20 more minutes for me to ramble and play with my hair while you guys listen to me make noise. This is only the 3rd time I've ever wore this shirt. It says October 1978. 40 years of being sunshine mixed with a little hurricane. It was from my birthday. So I guess technically it was for my 40th birthday, but I saw that it has a stain here when I put it on. I could wear it, like it didn't have to just be in that year. I could wear it anytime, right? But now it's 43 and a half years of being sunshine with a little bit of hurricane, and Mom will agree to that. More like a lot of hurricane, a little bit of sunshine. Just kidding. Yeah, so I warmed up chili for Steve for dinner. Chili and toasted some buns for him to eat with it. I could have made rice on the barbecue. I thought about it after, though, when I was like, came in to warm up the food, that, oh, I should have made rice while I was outside, because the barbecue has a side burner that I could have used. But I made him buns to eat with it instead of rice. So I know I keep playing with my hair. It's been a while that I've had my hair down, so I haven't played with it the last few lives because it hasn't been down. But these curls aren't as bouncy and stuff as some of them are. Like I said, it's a bit flat, and yeah. So Mom's laughing at me with the hurricane. What else shall I tell you? I know that my mom was talking about home renovations in a message to me, and she said that like she knows that my brother and his wife, they've been doing home renovations for a few years now, and then even though their kitchen's been done for a little while now, my sister-in-law posted a before and after picture on Facebook a few weeks ago, and Mom said how nice that is, and she said that she thinks mine will be nice too, and how much she loves hers, and hers has been done for 2 or 3 years now, and she still loves her kitchen and her home renovations and stuff, so it is very exciting. That reminded me of something. Oh, Mom, I was going to tell you that I got your, so those of you watching might know or not know that my Auntie Adeline passed away at 90 years old a few weeks ago, and my mom sent me the pamphlet thingy that you get from the funeral. So, Mom, I received that and your card in the mail, so that was nice. Thank you. Oh, speaking of cards, no, I still haven't posted your Mother's Day cards yet, because I want to post the care package, and I was going to put them in there. So, I know I need to do all the office stuff that I've been avoiding because I've just been out in the garden or doing home renovations. You might get your Mother's Day cards by Christmas, and then your Christmas cards by who knows when. So, yes, Sonny picked up my Tupperware, so when he gets here, I'll have new Tupperware for my new kitchen as well. That's very exciting. I know. We need to choose countertop. It's and I didn't even think about it until like a couple days ago. So Steve bought me this. I can't remember if I showed you guys on one of my lives or not, but it's like a big pestle and mortar. We have a small pestle and mortar that's like this size and it's white, but then this big pestle and mortar he bought me, and I don't know if it's marble. I think it's probably granite, but it's like black with like white speckles in it and stuff, and or like dark gray. So now with the tiles, the floor tiles and stuff, it's gonna look so good in the kitchen. But as soon as I got the pestle and mortar, which is something I wanted, I put it in the it's been in the dining room because I don't want to put it in the kitchen until the kitchen was done. And now the kitchen's almost done, so it's gonna come in here and it's gonna look so good in here. And Mom's laughing at me again for, I can't remember what I said. I knew that she would laugh at it, but I can't remember what it was. That's how quickly things leave my brain. So I can't tell you how excited I am for the kitchen. I'm just staring at the shelves over there. There's no doors on them yet, but the two in the middle are gonna have glass shelves and like glass doors and lights, you know, and my mom has things like that too. So I was just looking over and picturing how I'm going to put, like what I'm gonna put in them that you can see through. So, but daydreaming about what I'm gonna put in my kitchen. What I'm gonna put in my kitchen cupboards and sitting here daydreaming about it isn't gonna be interesting to you guys on the live. Mom says, Sunny said they don't have bowls down there. Well, we have bowls and you can get Tupperware here, but
That's not nice.
They don't have those specific Tupperware bowls available here. So I'm very excited for them. They're pastel colors and they're like old-fashioned bowls, and I'm just really excited for them. Samantha says a quick hello. Hello, Samantha. Love and miss you. Say hello to our little Spencer and give him hugs and kisses. Getting older all the time.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
Ugh, I hope he's doing well. My watch is going crazy. I don't know why. So, hello, Auntie Diane. I see that she's just tuned in as well for a quick hello. Actually, how much time do I have left? I have 14 minutes left to ramble, so I can hear Aurora talking. I'm just waiting for one of the kids to come closer because I need to use the toilet, but I don't know if they will. So, so what else is there to tell you? So coming up this week, like I said, besides I have doing grocery shopping and then maybe doing some of the office stuff or trying to catch up on the watering outside in the garden, nothing's happening that I can think of Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, although Steve teaches his classes again on Wednesdays. But Thursday, the electricians are coming. The electricians, the kitchen guy with like putting on the doors, and then Fred, the builder, is coming on Friday and Saturday. And electricians are Thursday and Friday, so it's all closer to the end of the week. And Auntie Dan says, hi there, just sitting in a restaurant having a late lunch, Canadian brew house. Yum, what are you having, Auntie? What are you eating? Oh, we were talking about that too. Like, so I warmed up chili for Steve for dinner, and I was thinking about maybe I'll have chili and nacho chips for dinner. Because once I start getting serious about my eating, I'm not going to be able to just eat as much nacho chips as I want. Who's there? Is that Aurora? Yeah. Do you want to come say hello to people while I use the toilet really quickly, please? Sure. I know it bothered me when I first got here that people say, do you like those?
Yeah. I like the longness of it.
She's wearing my old bell bottoms from the 90s. It bothered me that people call it a toilet here instead of a bathroom or a washroom with a toilet. So when you say you're going to the toilet or I'm in the toilet, it's like, ew, you're in the toilet. But now, being so English, I say it too. So give me one moment. I'm going to the watering closet. Here is your friend Aurora to keep you company for a few minutes.
Hola. About what?
Grandma, Auntie Diane, Samantha. Tell them what you did today. Or
Oh. Okay, so today I did nothing. I stayed in my bed, I played a bit of Fortnite, I played a bit of Roblox, I watched Friends and SpongeBob. Pretty lazy. I'm going to the shop now to get some food, which is, I'm a bit disappointed because meal deals used to be £3, but now they're £3.50, unless you have a club card. It's sad. Why that extra 50p?
Tell them about your exams.
I've got my exams coming up again. I've already done 3, but they last 5 weeks in total. And I'll be completely finished on the 29th of June. So only like 12 more days to go.
And if you pass all your exams, then you go on to college.
Yeah, if I pass my exams, I get to go to college. Hee hee. Exciting. And then they're gonna want me to go to university and get a degree in something. Here's my mom. Alright, I'm going to the shop.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't trip over.
You have money?
Yeah, because you don't have
I don't have any.
any. And
Oh, they got you. They're making you.
£2.
Yeah.
And she
To go to the shop for him?
No, for me.
Yeah.
£2
Yeah.
to get myself something.
Yeah.
And now then £1.50. So I'm getting a meal deal.
Right. Okay. Bye. Love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Yeah. Paying her to go to the shop to get them stuff. But then they give her. Then she has money to buy herself something. She had hickeys on her neck. I didn't even notice. I better check that out when she gets back. I mean, she is 16, but you kind of want those in places you can't see. So I put this on my jumper because this is what I was going to dress like, because then it matched my cartoon. So I thought I'd put it on to match my. Oh, you can see my headphones and my glasses and my portable charger. And the old cupboards. The old cupboards that will be gone before you know it. Right? Before you know it. I'm so excited. I have these, oh, that's something else I was going to talk about. So I went to the doctor for them, and I don't know, okay, so I know my sister has her toes split underneath. You get these little, like, splits, like, where, say, like, in a groove, like, around here, like how the skin would split. Not here, but I'm just using that as an example. Somewhere where part of your skin meets other part where, you know, sometimes I get them there. Where it splits. Well, I get these little ones in my nose, and I don't know if you'll be able to see them or if you care, but there's one right there. I get these little splits. My nose splits, and then they kind of weep, and they get really sore. So with allergies, seasonal allergies, like hay fever and stuff, and then my weepy little splits in my nose, I'm always touching my nose. And then I've been getting bleeding noses lately, so my nose is dry and itchy, and I've been trying to take allergy pills or using my nasal spray to keep it moist, and, you know, but yeah, it's like I'm always touching my nose, and I don't want to pick my nose, but I don't like, yeah, and then I just look like a weirdo always touching my nose. So what else? So we've talked about, like, the rambling hour and doing the end of season wind up reviews, so I think that's a good idea. And just excited to finish the kitchen. You can see the contrast, I think, more now that it's getting darker outside. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to look at this back because I have the bright ring light in my face right now, so it's hard to see what you guys see. So what else shall we? I'm just gonna drink my pop then. I'm happy that people have stopped in to say hi, and if you're watching this at a later time, hi to you. I don't know. Okay, so my last week, my live, it says 70. Okay, it didn't start out at 78 views when I was live. It was probably only like 14, 26, I don't know. But even that, I don't know who all you people are who are watching this, whether then or now, I mean now or later. Like, not everybody comments. Even if you're watching this at a later time, feel free to comment on it, because I can still see the comments later and then get back to you. I don't exactly know how views work, and I'm not doing these for lots of views. I'm doing these to keep in contact with my friends and family. So if those are the people who are viewing them, great. Strangers viewing them, if you want to hear me ramble, whatever, that's up to you. But I don't know who all these views are. And if you are watching this, the point is to be interactive. So I'd rather you watch it live so that we can interact. But even if you aren't watching this live and you're just keeping up with whatever I'm doing in my life, that's fine too. But it would be nice for you to comment. Like, I don't know who is watching these and why you would want to watch these and not comment or say something to me or let me know that you're, you know, in my life as well, because that's why I'm doing this, to be part of your life. So whatever. Anyways, it surprises me how many views it says I have, when it's like, well, okay, well, who are these people? Why, how are you guys doing? You know, it's not just you guys finding out how I'm doing. But yeah, so we'll see how many views this one has when I'm done and how many it gets in the end. But all of my old lives are available too. If you're bored or you have nothing to do, or you just want to listen to them in your headphones while you do your housework or whatever, feel free to go back and watch my old ones. I will eventually put them on YouTube for people who aren't on Facebook and stuff, that they will be able to watch them. But again, those are things that I always say these things that I need to do, but I don't sit down. I don't go in the office enough. I don't sit down at my laptop enough to do all these things. I like to be busy and I like to be in the garden. We don't really get the winter like in Canada, and yeah, there is rainy days, but you know, I housework and everything else, but knock on wood, I'd rather be in the garden. But yeah, if we get rainy days, then maybe I can get some more of that stuff done, like at my computer and everything. But until then, I know I'm poofing up my hair. It'll be like crazy looking just to do my workout. I'm so excited about the kitchen. It's gonna be done soon. And then I take pictures of every step along the way, but I haven't posted any of them. Like, I haven't posted even the floor or anything, because I think instead of posting like 100 pictures of like a few of every step, I might as well just put the before and after for everybody when it's done. But I have sent a few in, like, to my family in messages. And then, like, yeah, if people watch last week's live, or I went around the kitchen and what was done then, and then this week's live, it's to show you the paint color, which is new from last week, but I haven't moved the camera really much in this one. So, yeah. So I am very excited for the kitchen to be done. And, yeah, I look forward to seeing my friend Samantha again as well, but she is busy with a newborn. I know that he is, like, I don't know a lot about preemies, but I know that he's getting stronger all the time, but he might still be in the hospital for a while. Like, his due date, her due date with him was like July 22nd, I believe. And so he might even be in the hospital until then, even though he's not, you know, due anymore. He's out of the womb, but he might still have to be in the hospital for that long. So, see, this is a problem now too, playing with my hair. Now I'm doing plaits, which in North America we call braids. All these words, it's like I'm speaking another language, which I guess because they supposedly invented the language, Steve says, English is like what they speak here. So when I use the other words, I am speaking Canadian English, but still not English, England English, British English. There you go, one plait. My hair is still wet. So, that is my plans. Chili with nacho chips, cheese on top, and maybe this week, because I don't have any of the builders or anybody coming in the early days, maybe I will start doing my yoga and everything again. The other thing is, and I know that I can fit all this in, and I don't need to make excuses, but it is a bit like my routine, just everything's thrown off, especially with a puppy too. So that's part of the thing, is like, it's hard enough working out with one dog in the living room, let alone two, but there's no reason that I couldn't do my yoga once, because the dogs like having their afternoon naps. So really I could do my yoga and stuff while they're having their little afternoon naps. So there's no excuse. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it. that is the truth, but there's no excuse good enough to not do it. I just need to get back on it and get it done. So I think that I'm gonna say goodbye for this week, and I asked my sister to be my guest this week, but she was gonna be out at the lake. So I do want to do that as well, start getting guests again too, even though, like I said, this is about visiting with friends and family. I do like having the guests and introducing my people that I love to other people that I love, and it just makes it more interesting, even, so it's not always about me. So yeah, I'd like to have guests again. So if you'd like to be my guest, you can message me and let me know. Otherwise, I might ask a few people. Hopefully they don't feel harassed or feel obligated to do it. I don't want anyone to feel obligated. Some people are just better not in front of the camera. They just like being on the comment end of it, and that is fine with me too. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you here next week or whenever. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Bye, Mommy. I love you too. And yes, I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you later. And hopefully most of the kitchen will be done by next Sunday, if not all of it. I don't think the countertops will be in, and probably not the tiles for the splashback, but the cupboards might be in. So we'll see next Sunday if I'm going to do my live from the garden or from the kitchen or where. All right. Take care. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.